obviously, you guys can see Marty Supreme finally, after a long wait of theatrical releases and trying to make his case for an Oscar, and all the promo and stuff, we finally get it on HBO Max. So I am here to talk about it. I just got done watching it. I watched it literally the day it came out on HBO. I was so excited. And I'm not gonna lie, even with the Oscar hype, even with the people's reviews and stuff, I think this movie surprised the hell out of me. I went in expecting something good, but not really this good. It is a little overhyped, of course. Like, people are talking about it like it's some sort of cult classic. It's one of the best movies of 2025. I do agree, it is up there with one of the best, but there's definitely movies from 2025 I would take. But at the same time, I really don't even care, because this was a damn good movie. This is one of those, put the bias to the side. You can put the reception and the reviews and the hype to the side and just be like, yeah, this is just a flat out good ass movie. And we're gonna get into why here in a second. Getting into the premise, obviously the movie follows Marty. This is based on a true story to an extent. I think his name was Marty Reisman, but his name's Marty Mauser here, who's a somewhat famous underdog type of table tennis player, but he's also a hustler, a borderline scumbag table tennis prodigy. So he's very good at the sport, of course. He goes to world championships. He's been traveling the world. He's been kicking people's ass locally, trying to claw his way to the top of the sport. It's a classic like sports underdog. My best kind of comparison is like Happy Gilmore, even though I know there's plenty of amazing, like miraculous sports type of films there. And along the way, it's a fucking crazy one. He scams people, bridges are burned, he's chasing greatness, and he basically becomes an outlaw for like half the movie. And it makes this so many genres. You can't even really compartmentalize this into a genre. It's a sports movie, it's a drama, it's a comedy, it can be a crime film if you want it to be, and somehow it all works. So let's get into why, man. So getting into the good, obviously we have to acknowledge Timothee Chalamet, who is one of the best younger, I mean, I know he's in his 30s, so that's not super young by like celebrity standards nowadays, but he is one of the best budding actors of our time for sure, I have to admit. Dating Kylie Jenner, he's on top of the world, starting off in SNL, quickly ascending to be one of the best actors in Hollywood with roles like Dune, roles like Wonka, plenty of others. And even after all of those, I do think this is a career best for Mr. Chalamet. I think he absolutely kills this role. They could not have casted this role better. Easily my favorite performance from him. He doesn't just act, he literally becomes the character. He had to have done some method acting or really becoming in character, like what Heath Ledger did to Joker. This guy did some of that shit to be Marty Mauser. And he was in the film, he's done biopics before, this isn't new. He did the Bob Dylan film like 2 years ago, but he's slick with his words, he's manipulative, he's charismatic, but also just a complete asshole. And that's what you want out of this character. Now, I don't know the full story of Marty Reisman. I don't know if this is exactly how he was as a person, but this character you quickly gravitate to and you fall in love with, while also kind of hating him because he's kind of a dickhead. Timothee Chalamet puts it all out there. This is an amazing film. Now, I don't think it's like a crazy dramatic acting job, but as a personality, this character's awesome. Without him, this movie doesn't work at all. And just kind of getting into Marty as a character in itself. He's not a good guy, obviously. Like, he finesses people, he takes shortcuts, he tricks people into getting his way. You have to get that straight. When you talk about some of these type of polarizing protagonists, now look at Walter White from Breaking Bad, movies like that. Even recently with Channing Tatum's role in Roofman. These aren't good people, but this guy's a little different. He's rude, selfish, manipulative. You really don't have a reason to like this guy except for the fact that he's been doubted his whole life. He comes from a terrible place in New York, but again, you respect the hell out of his drive. You respect the hell out of his obsessiveness to reach the greatness. There's plenty of great athletes that have had to do probably shit like this to get to where they're at. The obsession with being the best, that's what makes you stick with him, and he carries that arrogance, already thinking he is the best without even reaching those heights. Even when he is pissing you off, even when he is wronging people that you don't want him to wrong, because certainly along the way, some people have to do that to reach these heights. Even then, it's like, this guy wants it more than a lot of people do, and I respect that. And getting into the sports element, you're not supposed to call it ping pong, but I'm going to, because I don't want to call it a form of tennis, because it's a completely different sport. I know if you're playing it as a sport, officially standardized, it's supposed to be table tennis. If you're playing with your friends for fun, it's ping pong. That's bullshit. I actually cared about this stuff though, which is kind of crazy. I'm not a big table tennis guy. Like, my grandma has like a table at her house and I play against my friends and my family sometimes. It's kind of like pool to me. I'll play it if it's there, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't follow the pros or anything, but it's really cool to see how riveting this movie is and how like interesting it makes you in that sport. The movie treats it like a real intense sport, which it is. I mean, works in that way. There's a lot of culture. You kind of learn the rules. I didn't know the ball couldn't hit your body. I thought if it went over the table and hit your body, it was still their point. I thought it had to hit your paddle or whatever. There's a lot of stuff, like just the evolution of the game, it evolving as a culture at this time. I think this movie took place in the 40s, but all of that was super interesting. This is almost like a history lesson for someone that doesn't know anything about the sport like myself. And again, like final sequence in Japan, that felt big. They almost framed that to be like a man stepping on the moon or launching a rocket ship in itself or discovering like this massive new species. It felt grand. I like what Josh Safdie did. I'm not going to mention Josh Safdie too much in this video, but he's an amazing director. I haven't really watched Uncut Gems, but his work there and just critically what he's achieved in his career can't go unnoticed. Real sports movie payoff stuff with this one. There's so many awesome moments, and even just like when they're playing the final kind of thing and he beats him in like a real match because, oh, double or nothing, I don't want to kiss the pig, we actually need to play this instead of fucking scripting it so I have to kiss someone's ass, basically. And then he beats him, and just his emotion, the shock in the crowd, kind of the national pride that comes with playing on a worldwide stage, and even just like the sequences, I know I'm scattering here, even the sequences where all the tables are lined up and everyone's playing, that's such a cool fucking image to have. And he's inviting all these high-end people like Kay Stone and her husband to come there. It feels like an event. It feels like tennis. It feels like the French Open or the US Open or something like that. And again, getting into the supporting cast, the cast was pretty stacked, obviously. Gwenyth Paltrow played Kay Stone. Kevin O'Leary played basically himself, like a rich businessman. I don't know if anyone caught on to this, but Kevin O'Leary is basically like a figment of himself. Tyler the Creator was in this movie. You guys fucking know me. I'm one of the biggest Tyler the Creator fans you will meet. So seeing him act in a movie, in such a serious movie, even a rapper in general, being in a movie like this is so damn awesome to me. I think that's a big deal for the music industry. It's a big deal for Hollywood. It's awesome. I mean, Tyler especially surprised me though. He felt natural, like he could actually act for real. I do think there is kind of like a future for acting for Tyler, crazy enough. And Gwenyth, perfect for that like washed up but still desirable actress role. I'm not saying Gwenyth Paltrow's like in that arc in her career. She's not far off from it though. She can very much relate to the character she's playing, and I think that's great. The story and the chaos, just like the movie itself, like as a whole, is a ride. Seriously, running from the law after getting arrested and hitting people in the face, dealing with gangsters, weird uncomfortable moments. I mean, we could talk about him getting paddled on his bare ass by Milton Rockwell, who's played by Kevin O'Leary. It's chaotic, but it's never messy. I think it is very much purposeful, all the crazy shit they throw at you, because this is this man's life. This is what this guy went through. It is pure entertainment. And even getting into the emotional side, I think the emotions very much hit hard with this thing. And I know you guys probably want a 20-minute review, but I'm not really for that anymore. Certain big ass releases I could do that for, but I think the movie really elevates itself, not only because it is a table tennis movie and it's super unique and people are like, how could a movie about table tennis, like that's intriguing in itself, and the way they marketed that, how could a movie about table tennis be this good? The emotion, the fact that it's not just a sports movie, it's not just trying to go for shock value and sometimes be funny, sometimes be intense, but it has emotion to it as well. It has character relationships, and even Marty's relationship with Rachel, I do think is my favorite part. I mean, that is the driving part. I think her name is Odessa Arion, or I'll pop it up on the screen. She's got kind of a weirder name I'm not familiar with. She is a smaller time actress, which her being in this movie definitely helps her case to become a somewhat bigger actress. At the beginning of the movie, when she gets pregnant, he finds out about it. His instinct instantly is to just reject the baby and say it's not his, because she is having an affair with her husband Ira. He is a pimp, kind of. Marty is kind of a pimp here. Marty does throughout the film though realize like what he is doing is wrong to an extent, like even though he is very much one-sided, narcissistic, looking ahead, like I have to get this fucking done. He realizes he's wronged people. He wronged Tyler the Creator's character. He comes back around at the end of the film. He has moments with some of these characters, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It is amazing. Now, that stuff actually hits. Wally is his name. His past, his regrets, having to live with the situation, having to live with the decisions he made, and reflecting on that throughout the movie and trying to become a better person while also still trying to become the best table tennis player in the world. He never really reaches like that good person. He never really reaches a good set of mind, but that final hospital scene, what a send-off. I think that was real, you know, when he was holding the baby in his hand and he's crying. It is a weird way to end the movie, and maybe I'll talk about that in a second, but I think it's almost appropriate for a character like this. So I know that was a lot, but there's a lot to talk about with this movie. So getting into the bad, there's obviously not much to really comment on here. I don't think there's really anything particularly bad. There's some things like purposefully done that kind of annoy you, such as Marty kind of being a frustrating character just because of the ups and downs that he kind of goes for, and him like finessing the people at the bowling alley. I haven't really gotten into any specific favorite moments, and I know in a lot of my videos I do that, but like him at the bowling alley wronging those people, basically him and Wally wagering, and everyone's throwing their fucking money, and one of them is going to win, so one of them takes the money for both of them. That's fucking crazy. That scene was insane. That whole sequence where they have the dog in the back seat and they're driving away, the dog jumps out of the window, they knock the power line down, it fucking explodes. Oh my god, this movie was crazy for that. That took the movie to a whole different level. Some of his decisions do make you mad, kind of connected to that, and choosing to rob a guy at gunpoint in the fucking first place, even though that's how he got to Japan, going against a police officer, just being a snarky bitch for the most part. But that is his personality. That's what makes him such a unique character. Is not only is he a guy you shouldn't be rooting for because of what he is doing, you shouldn't be rooting for him at times because just who he is as a person at times. I mean, the ending is a bit anticlimactic. He never becomes like the GOAT. He never reaches the top, which can be very controversial for a movie as grand and a movie as hyped up, and you're waiting 2.5 hours to see what the resolution is to this thing. And it's like, oh, he beat his rival and basically an exhibition match, doesn't get thrown in the tournament, and he ends up just kind of having to be a father and living with that. But honestly, it does fit his character, so that's where you go. Getting into the okay, there's some things, again, I have to acknowledge. I mean, it's a long movie. Not everyone just has time to sit down for 2.5 hours. Obviously, like throughout the day, I was doing it because like I was watching basketball and like during the commercial breaks, and even after stream last night, I had time to kind of finish it up and work on some other things. It's not something you can throw on like every single night. It's not like some of these comedy films we've been covering recently, and actually I'm probably going to be taking a break from some of these comedies because I actually had like a viewer, I don't really want to call them fans because I don't see you guys as that, a viewer gave me a bunch of recommendations, so we're going to be getting into that after this in Euphoria. Just kind of some plans there, but it's not something that is super rewatchable, but I fucking love it. Obviously some people might not connect with the tone. It is definitely different. It is a little bit unorthodox, but like if you're locked in, the 2.5 hours does fly by. There's some great story here. There's some great sequencing. There is some great pacing. It is a long movie again, but everything has a reason to happen, and it is such a ride. He's almost like this gangster, pimpy kind of like young cat, and it's so fun to see what he gets himself into. It is a very, very entertaining movie to me. Let's get into the review. Getting into the review, I think Marty Supreme is kind of one of those movies that takes a weird concept, builds a crazy character, and somehow makes it all feel real, and it's just a wild one. It's funny, emotional, absolutely batshit insane. It is a surprisingly deep film. It might be a little overhyped. Certainly, I could acknowledge the fact that people in the media, people in the award committees, giving this all these considerations, I will say, it definitely deserves Oscars and stuff. It is a little overhyped, and that might wane you a little bit if you are going into it, but I completely get it. This is a really, really, really good movie. It is not quite a perfect movie. There's other movies even from 2025 that I would prefer to this one, but it's easily one of the more unique and entertaining films, at least of 2025, and probably one of the more unique films I have covered on this channel so far. I will give this like an 8.9 out of 10. I really, really like this. I don't think it's necessarily a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to throw it there, but holy shit. Timothee Chalamet, you do your big one, and he is continuing. I don't know. This man's work ethic is fucking crazy. He's working on the other Dune movies. I'm not sure if he has any more plans for the future, but that in itself is a lot. Those are some big ass movies. I hope to see more out of Timothee Chalamet. He's starting to almost become like a younger Leonardo DiCaprio, maybe a little bit, maybe not as much with like the type of movies he's doing, but definitely kind of reminding me of that type of trajectory. So with that being said, I am out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been your boy GZTV covering all sorts of different movies, past, present, future movies we're going to be looking forward to. There's a lot of releases in the MCU that are coming up. There's obviously TV shows that we cover. Euphoria is coming out with an episode tomorrow at the time I'm recording this. I don't know if I'll get this out on the 25th. It might come out the 26th. Then again, it's been a chaotic one. I got to watch playoffs. I got to lock in for the YouTube, all that type of stuff. But I am out. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.